The K in peak TLC is keep the end in mind. Now, this isn't revolutionary. You guys know this. But I really like this, this visual. Wherever you're starting today, wherever you're on your journey, there's going to be storms. It's not if, it's when. And the question you got to ask yourself is, when I get to my final destination, what type of person or leader do I want to be? What type of legacy do I want to leave? How do I want to be perceived? You've got to keep that in your mind early on, because you go through these storms now, you make a mistake here that could tarnish that legacy on your path to your future. So the key is really, like I like to use the analogy, like, hey, if I said, let's meet downtown Wichita, there's a lot of ways to get downtown Wichita from here. You can go the scenic route, you can take the fastest route, you can take the longest route. Neither one of them is right or wrong, as long as you get to the destination. But the key is with you, where do you want to go and how do you want to get there? So you got to keep the end in mind, because that'll help you weather some of these storms where, you know, you're in the heat of the day-to-day and, you know, your boss is mad at you, your customer's mad at you, you're not getting information from your team, you're frustrated, right? It's easy to say, woe is me, or get upset or snap at somebody, but is that how you want to be remembered and perceived? So the T is truly be transparent and collaborative. It bothers me when people say these are buzzwords. I don't believe they're buzzwords, because as I look and reflect back on my career, there's really nothing that I could have done without transparency and collaboration with large teams and other people to get opportunities realized and problems solved. So it's key, like, to understand the power of transparency and collaboration. Have you ever, two people or more than two people, it doesn't matter. You come to the table, I have my idea. Here's my idea on how to solve this problem. Roy comes to the table, here's how Roy's gonna solve this problem. We talk. Out of that conversation comes a third idea that's not mine and it's not yours, but through our collaboration, we came up with a third idea that makes sense based on the conversations that we had. That's key, right? That's collaboration. So it's kind of hard to see, but can you see these people on this hill, this mountain? Yeah, kind of. So for perspective, you can tell that this is a huge mountain, right? That's the real reason the people are there. If I told you those people could make it to the top of that mountain in a matter of seconds, what would you say? How is that possible? Right? How do you think somebody yelled something out? Anything? Sheila, how could they do it?
Airlift.
Airlift. That's a brilliant guess, right? Brilliant. When you see the whole picture, how much sense does that make? This is literally what we do when we're not collaborative and transparent with each other. I bring you in, or someone brings us in, we're asked to solve a problem, we see half of the picture or a third of the picture or whatever is not the total piece of the picture, and we come up with an idea that makes sense, because airlift made perfect sense. But when you see the rest of this picture, there's a train right here. Get on the train, right? That's the easiest solution. But if we don't give each other the opportunities to see the whole picture, we might not always get to the same solution. And when you can get to the solution faster and collaboratively, you've created value. You've created value to the company, and you've created value for yourself. Because now people are going to want you on their team. Like, hey, last time Sheila was on my team, she helped us get to the solution. I want Sheila on my team, or Roy, or whoever, right? The LC in peak TLC is learn continuously. And my team knows this. This isn't news to you guys. Every week we dedicate at least 10 to 15 minutes with each other, learning from each other. It's just part of our process. Because I truly believe that nobody knows everything. You can come into a situation and you can know exactly what to do. And that's good. You can come into the situation and have no clue what to do. But you might know what not to do. And not knowing what to do at sometimes, depending on the situation, is just as valuable as knowing what to do. So you can learn from anybody and a lot of people. And I think that you should take that opportunity to always learn, because you never know where you might get a nugget that might be relevant sometime in the future or in the distant or close future. And I also believe that continued learning really fuels your ability and desire and your confidence to grow. Think about when you learned something that was exciting to you. Like I said, I have kids, so I'm watching this right now, learning how to walk, right? You started walking, you were kind of unsteady, you weren't sure. But as you did it more, you gained your confidence and you began to maybe run, or any other things that are derivatives of walking. This is what continued learning does for you as an individual. You start to open and expand your mind to understand other pieces of yourself and the business. And when you start to look at it that way, you can start to generate value, because you're no longer just an ME or an engineer or a planner or whatever you might be. You can master that skill and learn the next skill. And then you've created value for yourself and the company. So, in summary, I know I'm supposed to talk for 20 minutes. I'm not going to. In summary, you can care for your career with a little leadership. Leadership TLC. Remember the acronym PEAK TLC. So, that's all I'm going to talk about, but I really want questions. That's why I left open time. So if you guys have questions, oh yeah, if there's a mic, any questions, ask them. I may be ready, I may not, we'll find out.
If you just raise your hand.
There we go. Say your name and position.
Hi, my name is Hannah Morris. I'm a design engineer.
Perfect.
I was curious if you could tell us a little bit about your business that you have.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. That's an easy one. So yeah, I started a business that's really focused on creating generational wealth. So we go through and educate people on what they can do with whatever funds they have now to build a foundation that will allow them to have something to leave behind. So we look at that through, we do consulting, tax prep, tax consulting. We also do rentals and investing. So we start teaching them, hey, you can invest. People think that there's this barrier to entry on investing. There's Robinhood. There's a lot of apps that you can invest for free with pennies, right? So people think that I need to have a lot of money to start investing, and we try to break that thought process so they can generate some wealth that they can leave behind to their kids or a foundation or whatever they want to do with it.
So